Two area counties team up to make an arrest. A settlement was approved by the Fort Worth City Council Tuesday for a child who witnessed the death of his aunt. And a graveyard in Goliad is named an historical cemetery.
You're probably wondering, where is the rain? Well, the rain is down south. It's getting ready, and all of a sudden we're picking up a little light moisture here, but that's the light stuff. Down south of the border, you can see the big blob coming in. That'll be the beginning, which will be here in the morning. And then it gets heavy and thundery and lightning pretty much all day tomorrow. So we'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
And we hear from 4 Victoria West athletes about their plans to compete at the next level. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. An autopsy report is pending in the case of Amanda Stevenson. 25 News Now has learned the man who took his own life during a traffic stop last Wednesday, 45-year-old Kevin Bennetson, was an accredited elementary school teacher. His LinkedIn profile shows he also once worked as a parole officer. Amanda Stevenson was reported missing last Tuesday. Police found a body yesterday, and they believe it to be that of Amanda Stevenson. The first candidates have formally applied to run for mayor of Victoria. District 2 Council member Josephine Solis has filed to run for mayor of Victoria. The special election is set for February 3rd of next year. Mayor Jeff Balknight is running for state representative in District 30. Longtime incumbent Jeannie Morrison is not seeking re-election. Carissa Winters has also applied to run for mayor of Victoria. She listed her occupation as community leader. All mayoral privileges and responsibilities are retained by Balknight until a new mayor is voted in. An 18-year-old Wharton man is dead following a botched robbery attempt late Monday night. The Wharton Journal-Spectator reports Max Sanchez was pronounced dead at the hospital after he was shot by a suspect using an AR-15. Multiple people later confessed to organizing a robbery with Sanchez to steal vape pens. Wharton County authorities and the Texas Rangers are investigating the case. Authorities arrested a Victoria County man in DeWitt County. 39-year-old Byron Holland was taken into custody for a violation of his probation in Victoria County. Holland faces an assault with a deadly weapon charge. He's in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of a $50,000 bond. Sheriff's deputies from Goliad and Refugio counties teamed up on a traffic stop in Refugio. The deputies, part of the Operation Lone Star Task Force, found $86,000 in U.S. currency in the vehicle. 49-year-old Nancy Ramirez was arrested and charged with money laundering. A human smuggling suspect is in the Wharton County Jail. 36-year-old Monica Rubio of Houston was transferred from Harris County after she violated her bond conditions. Rubio was originally arrested on a human smuggling charge in May of last year at U.S. Highway 59 and Wharton County Road 231. Rubio is in custody in lieu of $30,000 bond. For today's viewer poll, we want to know, what do you think contributes most to the crashes in the area? Is it DWI? Is it speeding, road rage, ignoring traffic signals, or distracted driving? By a big margin, 56% of the voters said it was distracted driving. We thank you for voting. We want to hear your opinion. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And we'll have a new poll for you tomorrow night. And let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, I just got a text from a longtime friend in Edna wondering when they're going to get hit hard in Jackson County by this storm coming up.
Well, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day. We start with showers early in the day, and then it gets heavier. Now, what we have is about 3 or 4 weather ingredients coming together to pile up the big rain on top of us. The heaviest stuff is now down south of the border. It's coming across, and it'll be coming up into our region. And then we start waiting for another low pressure to come in from the west. All of those will combine, and tomorrow should be rather stormy. We'll be talking about who will get the worst coming up a little bit later on. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. Hamas has announced the release of 2 Russian female hostages, and tonight the Red Cross said 10 more Israeli abductees and 4 abductees with Thai citizenship are on their way to Israel. This on the 6th and last day of the extended truce between Israel and Hamas, and world leaders are negotiating for another extension.
The ceasefire between Israel and Hamas expected to end at midnight Eastern. Intense negotiations ongoing with the U.S. and Qatar to extend the temporary truce by up to 4 days. After more than 50 days held hostage, 16 more abductees were released by Hamas, seen in this video, and handed over to the Red Cross. 10 Israelis, 4 Thai citizens, and earlier 2 Russians, in exchange for Palestinian women and teenagers held in Israeli prisons. 49-year-old American Liat Bainin, a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen and mother of 3 with ties to Philadelphia and New York, among those freed today. Her husband is still missing. ABC News speaking tonight with her sister.
Until we got the final okay that she really was amongst the people that were returned, then I could finally breathe, take a deep breath.
President Biden says he's deeply gratified with her release and that she is safe.
She's crossed the border. I talked with her mother and father. They're very appreciative, and things are moving well. She'll soon be home with her 3 children. That's all I have to say for right now.
Still, at least 8 Americans remain in captivity. Their conditions unknown, according to U.S. officials, including 23-year-old Hirsch Goldberg, his mom telling ABC's Matt Gutman how they do not have concrete information about their son's whereabouts.
Our heart, our soul is so bruised. And you know when you have a bruise, the thing that hurts most is when you hit that bruise again.
The pause in fighting has allowed some humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza. The destruction in Gaza is vast, roughly 2 million people now displaced.
There's just a desperation, sort of a death almost on the street. It points to this relentless assault and obviously people in enormous need.
Israel's president says his government is committed to increasing and sustaining the aid. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger has died. He was 100 years old. Kissinger dominated foreign policy under Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, earning both harsh criticism and the Nobel Peace Prize. The German-born diplomat got the U.S. out of Vietnam after bloody, costly years of delay and into China in a sudden burst of secret diplomacy. In Fort Worth, a $3.5 million settlement was approved for a child who witnessed the fatal shooting of his aunt through her home's window by a police officer 4 years ago. On Tuesday, the city council approved settlement for 8-year-old Zion Carr when Tatiana Jefferson was killed. Former police officer Aaron Dean was convicted of manslaughter in her death and was sentenced to nearly 12 years. He shot her on October 12, 2019, after a neighbor called a non-emergency police line to report that her home's front door was open. A judge is still needed to approve the settlement. Goliad County's Cristo Rey Cemetery has been approved as a distinguished historical cemetery. The Goliad Advance Guard reports the cemetery has 28 unmarked graves. Before more burials can be performed, Goliad County had to locate buried bodies in the cemetery that are in unmarked grave sites. The 4th annual Nativity exhibit is on display in Port Lavaca at the Red Barn at 3187 Highway 35. The free event includes hundreds of nativities of all sizes and shapes from around the world. Some of these scenes are made out of spaghetti, cookies, wood, foil, and even date back to the 1920s. The hustle and bustle of the holidays can be slowed down to the true meaning of Christmas when in the presence of these nativity scenes.
I just want everybody to come see for themselves what we have here. I think they'll be pleasantly surprised, and it's definitely worth the drive to get out and come over here and see what we have.
The exhibit started the Friday after Thanksgiving and will be open Friday, Saturday, and Sundays through December 10th from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, the exhibit will be open from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. and they will even open during the day for special groups and schools. Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Calhoun County's community got to voice their opinions on the construction of a pier during a special workshop. And Calhoun County High School Scene Stealers performed the Brothers Grimm Spectaculathon on November 17th that left the audience wanting more. Plus, Magnolia Beach Volunteer Fire Department is expected to receive a new station. You can read these stories and more at the PortLavacaWave.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so when you're on YouTube you can see Crossroads Today. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. The man convicted in attacking Nancy Pelosi's husband could get a plea deal on state charges. Also ahead, a Matagorda County doctor delivers his 5,000th baby. DePape, the man found guilty of attacking former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's husband, could receive a plea deal on California state charges. He was found guilty in federal court earlier this month for his role in the October 2022 assault after his lawyer and prosecutors discussed a settlement in court. He could receive a possible plea deal on his state charges. He has another hearing scheduled Thursday morning to determine a settlement date. He's facing multiple state charges, including attempted murder. A Mississippi woman dubbed the Southeast Wedding Crasher appeared in a Lauderdale County courtroom Wednesday. Sandra Lynn Henson is facing multiple charges of theft from 3 states. Authorities say Henson not only crashed weddings, but she would also steal gifts and money intended for the bride and groom.
I'm sorry for all the pain that I've caused. That's what I have to say. I'm just sorry, that's all I can say.
Henson has a previous arrest in Mississippi and is also facing similar charges in Alabama and Tennessee. The holiday season is a time for family gatherings, but it also can be a painful time of year for those who recently lost a loved one, which can be especially hard on children.
For many Americans, the holidays are a time to gather with friends and family. But for those who have experienced a death in the family, the holidays can also be a time of sadness. One group warns children can have an especially difficult time processing grief. An estimated 6 million children in the United States will experience the death of a parent or sibling by age 18. In a kindergarten classroom of 24 children, that's 2 students who will lose a sibling or parent by adulthood. Those troubling numbers from Judy's House, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping children and families grieving a death. The report also showing a year-to-year increase. Experts warn the death of a loved one can be incredibly disruptive and lead to adverse health and welfare outcomes. Accidents, heart disease, and cancer are the top 3 causes of death for parents, followed by suicide and homicide. Siblings mostly passing away from birth conditions and defects, as well as accidents. If you are experiencing suicidal, substance use, or mental health crises, please call or text 988. Trained crisis counselors are available for free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With this Medical Minute, I'm Justin Finch, ABC News.
A Matagorda County doctor delivered his 5,000th baby over the weekend. Dr. Gregory Pappas told the Bay City Tribune he's looking forward to bringing another 1,000 into the world before retiring. Pappas, a Dallas native, opened his practice in Bay City in 2002. After 5,000 deliveries, Pappas said he appreciates the wonder of childbirth more than ever. Here's a look at some of the top headlines you'll find in the Cuero Record. The DeWitt County Commissioners Court met Monday. DeWitt County has a new AgriLife Extension 4-H agent. And Cuero football season ends in the 3rd round of the playoffs. Read these stories and more at CueroRecord.com. The city of Juarez, Mexico will soon open a warming center once temperatures drop drastically. It will shelter the homeless and others during the winter season. The shelter can house up to 120 people. The Juarez Civil Protection's Rescue Department will run it.
Well, good evening, everyone. We've got a fairly mild 64 right about now, not exactly chilly. We got up to 70 today, and in the next few days, we're going to stay around 70 degrees. So this cold front that's coming in Friday morning, it's not very cold. The problem is it's got a lot of rain with it, so we'll see how much rain we get tomorrow, your Thursday, coming up after this. Well, good evening, everybody. We are looking at the clouds, and we're looking at the light rain, and now we've got the heavier rain, which is just about approaching the border. As you can see right there, that is the jet streak that we've been waiting for. That's basically a high current of wind at the higher elevations, and you can imagine if it's going fast this way, it's drawing air up from the bottom, and so that's what's going to build the thunder showers. There's a couple other factors in this, but it's all going to be right on top of us. So it's not really coming from somewhere. It's going to be developing over our area, and it's pretty sure it's going to be here. You can see how the rain has already crossed into Stark County down there, and so it's just a matter of time before we start getting it a little bit heavier. In fact, by sunrise, I think we'll be having some wetness, some shower activity. Tune in at 5 and 6 a.m. They'll have the latest for you here with Carolyn Austrain. Now, here's the other factor. This is an area of low pressure that's going to spin toward us, and that is also a lifting system. That's why we expect the possibility of some severe weather here. Now, we have a slight chance, okay? It's much higher if you go toward Houston for the stormy weather, but some of you will see a little thunder and lightning in the crossroads, and there you see by Friday much of it dust starts to pull away, and then we sort of settle down as we get into the weekend. This is a one-day stormy thing, and it's going to be bothering pretty much everybody. Now, here's Future Tracker to see how much rain we're going to get, and the estimate right here is that we'll get about a ½ an inch in the Victoria area, but up to an inch or over, you know, up toward Eagle Lake, Wharton, and those areas. So you're looking for heavier stuff. Now, the big stuff's going to be occurring, believe it or not, in Harris County. They have an enhanced risk of severe weather, which may have some tornadoes in it up here. We obviously are in the periphery of that, so we have a less of a threat as far as we're concerned. It'll be heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. Hail, probably not, because it's coming up from the south. So there again is what we expect. When does it begin? I believe by sunrise, and pretty much all of day tomorrow. By the time we get to midnight tomorrow, it'll start pulling away. So it's an all-day event. We're looking at 75 as our high temperature, because another thing we're getting is a big push of southerly winds that bring in that humidity to keep us on the damp side. Now, here's the 7-day outlook. Now, we've got tonight. We go through tomorrow. There's the stormy weather. There you see the Thursday evening. And then by Friday, it begins to pull out of here. Most of the heavy stuff will be east of us and then continuing on into Louisiana. Then we got a couple of fairly quiet days right about here, but we're not going to go clear and blue. We'll stay on the cloudy side. And then 7 days from now, looks like we're going to get another surge of tropical moisture rolling up into our area. Your day planner, for those of you in Port Lavaca, I don't think it's a good day to go fishing because it's going to be stormy and very windy. 69 getting up to 74, cloudy and showery pretty much all day. In Cuero down to 66, up to 76, cloudy and thunder showery all day long. Now here's the 7-day outlook. The heaviest activity is Thursday, front after midnight, clearing slowly on Friday. Cloudy with a 20% left over on Saturday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday look a little quiet right now until that 7th day, and we'll certainly be watching that for you. So check in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. if you're concerned about the weather, and the morning crew will have it all for you. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. And now here's Mr. Gino with sports.
Thanks, Mac. 3 Victoria West Lady Warriors are heading out of state while 1 is staying in the Lone Star State. We find out where they will be continuing their college careers after the break. At a Crossroads, it was an eventful day for the Victoria West Lady Warriors earlier today. 4 athletes signed their letters of intent. 3 will be heading outside of the Lone Star State, and 1 will be about 7 hours northwest of here. The gym was packed with family, friends, and classmates of the 4 student athletes that will be heading to college next fall to compete at the next level. Of the 4 signees, 2 are heading to college to play softball. 1 is going to be golfing at the next level, while the other will be competing in the pool. We start with one of the softball stars, that's Lily Chavez. She will be heading 7 hours to Odessa to be a catcher/outfielder for the UT Permian Basin Falcons. She has been playing softball since she was a toddler and knew she wanted to continue playing in college. She wants to be a biometrics major and said it is a simple reason why she decided to head to UTPB.
Well, I visited the campus, and it's just like the coaching staff was awesome, met the girls, and it felt like home. I'm just excited to go, get out of Victoria. That's what I'm excited about. Playing some softball, yeah.
Her teammate Grace Weiler will be heading a little further north, about 15 and a half hours in total, to the Colorado School of Mines. There, she will be a catcher and utility player for the Ore Diggers. She was noticed at a camp the team held and decided to make the trip up to the mountains. Although she will be far from her immediate family, she will be around some extended family that lives up there. She plans on putting her academics first and majoring in chemical engineering while showing off her talents to try to earn a spot on the team.
I just loved everything there. The coaches are really nice and I love them, and then the campus is just beautiful. You see mountains in the background everywhere. I'm most excited about just being able to be more into the outdoors and then different seasons. Like, I'm ready for snow and I'm ready to go hiking.
Another Lady Warrior is heading out of state, but this one is heading east. Harper Edwards has been golfing since the age of 5 and knew she wanted to play Division I golf for a long time and took initiative to find a team that would let her play on her team. So she reached out to Belmont University in Nashville, and in a blink of an eye, a deal was done. She knows this is just the beginning and will have to work hard and be consistent, and most of all, get used to the weather over there.
Definitely relief. I committed last Thanksgiving, so I've kind of known a little bit more like where I'm going and stuff, but it definitely feels good knowing where I'm going and just how my career is going to take off after that.
And last but not least, Victoria West swimmer Shelby Travis is going to be in the natural state, aka Arkansas. Travis is going to be spending most of her time on the campus of Henderson State University and working on getting better times in the 100 and 200 meter freestyle races. She committed quite some time ago since the team that reached out to her wanted her on the team. And although her mother is not happy about Shelby moving out of state, Shelby credits her mom for making her stick it out and put her in the pool to begin with.
Well, I sucked at every other sport, so this is the one I got good at, so gotta stick with it. The campus was really old and I like more historic, so it looked really nice and historic-y, and trees, there was trees. I was glad for the different seasons. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Lady Warriors. We wish you all the best of luck. Well, that's your sports. Don, back to you.
All right, Gino, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, an inflatable Santa was shot down in front of a home in Kentucky. Somebody's getting a lump of coal in their Christmas stocking. Very Grinch-like move. Someone shot down an inflatable Santa in the front yard of a home in Lexington, Kentucky, and it was all caught on camera. The moment was deflating for the homeowner and his family. They had just spent $200 on Santa days earlier. Now there's an 18-inch hole in Santa and a larger void in their yard. Luckily, no one was hurt, and the person who did this is now likely on Santa's naughty list this year and forever. This vending machine dispenses everything from medical supplies to chickens and goats, but not actual real animals. The money goes toward supplying vital provisions to those in need. While it looks like a typical vending machine, it vends joy in the shape of a donation that can buy people meals, vaccines, trees, and yes, even goats and chickens. The giving machine is sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and helps people locally and around the world. Well, that is a very unique way to help people with different things. I've never seen a vending machine like that. When I first heard about this, now how are you going to get a goat out of a vending machine? Not a real goat, no.
It's very hard, actually. It's very difficult.
Actually, if you could get a real goat out of that vending machine would be the goat of vending machines.
That's
if you
right,
think about
the
it.
goat, for real. And you know that guy that shot that Santa, coal, lumps of coal?
Lumps of coal on the app.
He'll be getting them in packages.
Instead of Santa or Grandma got run over by a reindeer, Santa got shot down by a drive-by.
Santa will be checking that list twice, I guarantee
In a drive-by.
Now let's look at this weather situation.
There will be justice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the weather situation, folks. Tomorrow morning, you're going to be looking at shower activity, so make sure you poke out the window before you head out. I do believe you'll need your rain gear at some point in time tomorrow. The thunder showers will be heaviest in the afternoon, so I think tomorrow's a washout. Midnight, the front comes through. Friday, with sort of leaves, and we've got just a slight chance for a light rain on Saturday, but it's not very cold front. You can see how temperature's staying in the upper 60s. Don?
Mac, thank you. And finally tonight, Doritos is attempting to cancel noisy crunching using artificial intelligence. Yes, the technology was trained by recording more than 5,000 crunch sounds so the software would be able to detect and mute it. It's available only for gamers now on Windows. It's intended for gamers playing with others so the snacking does not interrupt the team's performance. However, many are hoping it will eventually work on phone calls and in person. All right.
What will they think of next?
Then they're going to take the dust off your fingers.
Now that's the hardest part.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining for 25 News Now at 10. Join us for the latest in the weather, 25 News Now sunrise at 5 a.m. Good night.